All right, welcome back. You're watching the NewsXC voter exit poll for Uttar Pradesh. We was learning just before the break, essentially, the Muslim voter deserting Mayawati, peeling off towards both the Samajwadi Party and the Congress. Ijaz Ilmi, you've been tracking the elections in Uttar Pradesh. You've been tracking the behavior of the Muslim voter. Tell us what went wrong with Mayawati's calculations. Why are the Muslims seemingly deserting her now?
You know, three things. Muslims did not desert Mayawati. In the last election, Muslims, along with everybody else, voted for Mayawati. They wanted to remove Mulayam Singh Yadav. Secondly, Mayawati took out an advertisement 2 months before elections saying that she had introduced 87 new measures or schemes benefiting the minorities in the state of Uttar Pradesh, which was a blatant lie. On the ground situation, the portability of water, the availability of electricity, the ground condition, nothing has changed in the last 5 years. The beneficiaries have been the Dalits and the other classes. The Muslims really haven't got anything from the Mayawati government. So this lie was in their face, got exposed. Secondly,
but Ijaz, you know,
yes,
the Muslim also didn't buy in to the populist schemes, or the scheming rather, if I could use that word, since the EC has pointed it out and then backed off in the past, of the Congress as well as the Samajwadi Party that started playing quota politics.
No, I agree with you. The Muslims, like all the other voters of Uttar Pradesh, did not buy into last-minute promises and the promises of the moon that 2 days before elections you can promise quota and things can change.
Yes, that was very cynical.
If the Congress, was very serious, they could have done these changes much earlier.
Mr. Maheshwari is with us. He is the treasurer of the UPCC. Mr. Maheshwari, the ploy hasn't worked. The quota card has fallen flat on its face. Mr. Maheshwari, if you can hear me. Well, we seem to have a bit of an audio problem with Mr. Maheshwari. Let me quickly come across to you, Sanjay Kaul. You know, a lot of people were very, very skeptical about the manner in which perhaps some of the parties were targeting a vote bank. In fact, your party came out and it was criticized for communalizing the election and the atmosphere by suggesting that there was a second partition of India going on.
I'm surprised that you put it like that, because I think the tenor of the argument before that, when Mr. Elmi was talking about, was basically that the communalization was done by some other party.
That's what I'm saying.
We were merely complaining that you were actually...
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Exactly. But, you know, I'm glad that you admit that basically the voters didn't buy. Though, like I said, these are not the final results. But I have a different analysis of what you were saying earlier. I think, on the contrary, that Muslims did buy it. They accept that they would not buy it from the Congress. So this is what my argument was, that the Congress was in no position to promise them anything.
Okay.
The intelligent voters went aside and they gave it to the party that they thought could translate that for them.
They didn't buy into the rhetoric. Let me quickly go across to Mr. Maheshwari. Mr. Maheshwari, your response that the Congress quota populism failed. The minority voters saw through it.
No, I don't contribute this view. You see, results are yet to come, and we are still, you see, hoping that we will be number 1.
Okay, so that's very optimistic of you. The exit polls are not showing that right now. But there's a larger question that I want to go to. Maybe Kalyani Shankar, you can step in on this. But first, Sanjay Kaul, earlier this week, I spoke to your party president, Nitin Gadkari. I asked him whether, in fact, the BJP would continue its stand that it would not ally with anyone and not form a coalition government. This is also what the Congress has said. And essentially, if both the BJP and the Congress stand by what you said, which would be unusual, of course, but if both parties stood by what they said, you would essentially have a hung assembly in Uttar Pradesh, not the healthiest thing for the state or the nation at this point.
Well, if these are the results, then the verdict is the verdict, and who are we to disagree? So, but the principal position, as far as the BJP is concerned, that it would not like to do any of those things that you said earlier. So, I think the status quo may be maintained, although this looks, your results make it rather delicious to, you know, to speculate on some sort of an association here or there. But I think the important point to take away from this, at least what you have, the C voter results that you have,
yes,
is that the SP did not make it as well as you probably predicted it to be, and the Congress could not get anywhere near where you thought it would.
But Kalyani Shankar, do you think that this would be something really damaging to India at this point if its largest state, at a time when we're facing economic turmoil, continued political turmoil, if the largest state, UP, went into a hung sort of situation, Some people are even talking about president's rule. What would be the larger impact of this on the national polity, Kalyani?
Well, actually, you know, of late, maybe in the past 2 decades, I would say, the polity has been fractured and it's getting more and more fractured. So that is why you see coalition governments coming in both at the center and in the state, which is a very dangerous trend, I think. You know, it's better to have a single party rule than having a coalition, because particularly with regional satraps coming and joining at the center and even within the state. You see what happened in UP earlier, you know, Mayawati and Mulayam formed a government once, Mayawati with the support of Congress formed the government another time, then
Yes.
Mayawati with BJP had formed the government. So they have gone through all the options. So even now I don't believe that there will not be a government, because both these people will say that I want to stop BJP from coming to power, so the Congress may support Mulayam Singh, and BJP might say that they want to stop the Congress, and that's why they will join with the Mayawati. So all options are open for everybody, because today the politics itself is opportunistic politics. So everything is open for everybody.
Okay.
So you just wait and see. In the next few days, they will start thinking of forming the government.
Where did the change take place, Yashwant? Where did the change take place on the ground?
I guess the change has taken place on various parameters, and UP is 403 different elections. It is not the same. What I am surprised is on one definite thing which we found in the exit poll is the higher turnout, number one. Number two, the youth voters, and the media hype has been the youth is going to the Congress, which unfortunately has not gone to the Congress. In fact, the finding of the election, Rahul, if you'll ask me, pinpoint me, I'll guess that the finding of this election is Akhilesh Yadav. The way this lad has worked really hard in UP, filled up the boots of the vacuum of Mulayam Singh Yadav because he was not well and not
Well,
in
the
the
interesting
campaign.
thing, Yashwant, there was that he changed the rhetoric of the Samajwadi Party and the
Exactly.
socialist movement. Let me go across to Professor Zoya Hassan. I'm being told she's with us now. Professor Hassan, a sort of a surprising result, even within the predictability parameters of a hung assembly. We all expected a hung assembly. We didn't expect perhaps the Congress to be where it is, and we didn't expect the BJP to make the gains that it has made, according to at least our projection. What do you explain to be really the reason behind all of this? Where has this change taken place? Many people are saying the rhetoric of the Samajwadi Party completely changed, in fact, the parameters of this election and the discourse within that parameter.
I think first of all I must register my skepticism about exit polls and opinion polls. So this is all speculation. But yes, I think what is emerging clearly from these various polls is that Samajwadi Party is clearly in the lead and is likely to form the next government. Now, whether it will be a coalition government or it will be a majority government remains to be seen. But I think if these polls are to be believed, and also going by the media reports, it's clear that there was a great urge for change. And if the voters were interested in change, then Samajwadi Party appeared to be the most viable alternative. It's a well-organized party, it has an organization, and it also, I think, its masterstroke was to project Akhilesh Yadav, and I think here the media generously helped in the projection of this extremely polite, sophisticated, educated young leader. But I think what has also helped the Samajwadi Party is the fact that that people, there is, I think, what we are not focusing attention on is that this, that apart from the urge for change, there's anti-incumbency and there's also an anti-Dalit expression, which is to say the fact that Dalits were consolidating, and for the first time you had a major Dalit government.
Yes.
Now, whether that government was good or bad and that it was corrupt, all that, of course, all that is there. But it was a Dalit government in this largest state in the country. Now, this was quite extraordinary. And I think in part, this vote is also a vote against or a reaction to that on the part of, let us say, the non-Dalits, particularly the upper castes and the backward castes and so on. But I think it's also a fact that Mayawati's leadership, I mean, there are a number of questions with regard to her leadership, her authoritarian style, the corruption.
Now that's the point that Jahangir was actually making. just a short while back. Well, we have to take a short break at this point. Let me quickly sum up the major findings of this opinion poll before we head into that break, because when we come back, we're also going to be discussing the Rahul Gandhi factor, or the non-existence of it. Let me just quickly take you through the basic figures. The Samajwadi Party, according to our opinion survey, is expected to get 141 seats. The BSP 126. That means Mayawati is not returning to power. The BJP, surprising 83 seats, well ahead of the Congress Party, almost more than double those seats there, 36. The RLD only managing 11. That's really in the macro, the basic picture that is emerging in Uttar Pradesh. We're going to take a short break. We'll return with lots more. Stay with us.